So I'm Eli. I've been here for about a year and a half now, and I run the prep department. And today we're going to be showing you all of the fancy new stuff we're going to do with Kyle's new Road Glide. Our head painter Raph is going to do primo work. He's going to put pinstriping down. It's going to be sick. So first thing I wanted to start off with is the Road Glide inner. It's HOGWORKZ, of course, but it's going to need the most work because not only is it the part that has the most surface area and angles and just really hard to reach places, it's also the part that you see the most. So you really have to make sure you get every single thing on it. It's where your handlebars are, you're constantly looking at it, so it needs to be the best it can be. We got our new HOGWORKZ bags that aren't on the website yet, but they're gonna be, and that's why they're painted. We had to paint them to take pictures, so I'm gonna rip this down, not to bare plastic, but I'm gonna get clear coat off of it, and we're gonna repaint it to the color that Kyle is painting his bike, which I believe is kettle black. It's a nice color. So this is gonna be my first time touching these bags, and I'm excited to do them. They don't look too hard at all, and I honestly really like the look of them. And finally, this is the new Road Glide outer from HOGWORKZ. It is, I think, the biggest part we do. It has the most surface areas, but all of the angles on it are pretty much obtuse, so it's a little bit easier to prep than the inner, but it's still one of the biggest pieces that you see, so it needs to be primo, as everything should be. So I think I'm gonna start off with the inner and bring that into the room. The first thing you want to do is just make sure you can see. That's why there's a shit ton of lights in here. And it's like, you'd think with all the lights in here, you'd have enough, but you never do. There's never enough light. I need the sun behind me. So this is my trusted flashlight. So like, it looks pretty dirty around here, as you can see. It's got a little bit of damage, but most of this is just kind of transfer marks. It's not an actual gouge. So you'll see as I go around this entire piece, oh yeah, yep, right here, there's two little scuff marks. I think I saw a scratch down here as well, but it doesn't look, oh no, yeah, you can feel that, so we'll obviously still hit that. Oh yeah, look at there. So I'll try to hit that a little bit. It seems to be just a part of the mold. There's gonna be a glove box cover that goes in here. Shouldn't be able to see it. Oh yeah, so that'll be covered up, but I'll still hit it because still, that's about it's the tiny details that matter, and just putting that extra bit of just passion into the work, making sure that, yeah, you can't see it, but it still doesn't look that good, so you might as well hit it. So I'm gonna suit up, put my protection on. Always use protection, kids. You might die if you don't, or create life. I always use 600 for primed parts. If I really can't get it out, I'll switch to 320. Which is a little bit grittier. It's gonna just dig a little deeper and make my job easier. Because I'll be sitting here sanding a part that has a deep gouge with 600 for like a minute, and then I'll just get upset and hit it with 320 because it won't go away, and then 320 always gets it out. What I usually like to do is start somewhere, and I always go around and finish it. So I'm gonna start at this bottom corner and just focus on like this side first, then move to the middle part up here, and then go to here, and then once that's done, I'm going to focus on I'm gonna push it up and focus on all of the inside areas. So the parts that are under the glove box, the parts that are under the speakers, the inside where the, not LED, but the screen goes. And a big thing, I think these are for the handlebars, correct? Mm-hmm. But you gotta turn this whole part around to hit the back of it, because this stuff is super rough because all the primer doesn't get on it, so you gotta scuff that because it's still visible. But that's mainly for inners, and that's another reason why I said these parts, not the hardest to prep, but most tedious. It's right there in front of you. You're constantly looking down at it. This part is prepped already, but I specifically am here to make sure that it's perfect by the time it hits the painters, not just prepped. These scratches down here, I hit them, I'll wipe it away, and now they're gone. So I'm just gonna continue to do that. You can see right here, down there's a little bit of just roughness, so I'll continue that edge, make it nice and smooth. I've got this area pretty much done. So we got a pretty deep gouge there, so I'm gonna use, okay, I'm just gonna cry actually. I'm going to use some 320 for it because it looks deeper than normal.
Where is it?
So it's that big one right up, you know, right next to the screen that you look at to get all of your information. So it'd be pretty bad if that went through. I'm gonna use 320 for that to just really get it out with no struggle at all. That's all out. So I'm gonna hit that with 600. So I kind of comb the hairs of the plastic down, if that makes any sense. And then when I'm done, I'm actually gonna go over all of it with a red scuff just to kind of comb those hairs down and give it a real nice substrate for that paint to be able to attach to. Wow, look at that one. That one is pretty damn bad. So I'll hit that and give you a little look-see. Because this is a really good visual representation of what goes on. So I'm sanding all this gray or dark material is the raw plastic underneath. Like that's the elevation of the part. So where you can see that gray still, where you can still see primer is the low spot. So that's a dent. And this is gonna be a little hard because it's right on an edge. I mean, it's not gonna be hard. It's gonna be super easy, but you just gotta make sure to really round that part off correctly. Make sure it's nice and smooth, which obviously it is, and that's grade A quality. So I hit that with 600. So I've gone around here, and I missed that and came back to check. So that's why, like, I'm double checking this. Your eyes are gonna miss things that somebody else's aren't. So this gouge is, I would say, the worst one of the whole part. And it's nice because it's in an area that you're not really gonna see. Like we said before, it's gonna get really hidden by a glove box. It goes on like that and you open it. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't at least try to do it. So this one's gonna be a little bit tricky because if I try to get the DA in there, I can a little bit. And you can still see that real bad gouge in the low spot compared to all the other stuff. So what I'm gonna do to bring that down a little more, because I'm not quite happy with that, is I'm gonna grab a foam pad. This is just, it's part of a bigger one that I used to have that was about this wide, but I cut it up because it was easier. And I'm gonna grab some more of that 320 grit, which is super, I mean, it's nothing compared to 150 or 80, which is just the stuff that you should use for metal. But I'm just gonna wrap it up like a taco, nice and taut. And now I'm just gonna go to town doing little circles back and forth with that 320. Really just try to grind it down. So it still doesn't look the best, but it looks way better than before. Looks like there's a little bit of a something there that I'm gonna just cut off real quick. Beautiful. And there, it's almost gone. From what it was to that's gonna look a lot better. Even if I'm not able to get all of that out, it's gonna look way better than what it was. I think I'm gonna be able to get all of it out. What helps a lot as well sometimes is just going real tiny, little tiny circles. Circles and shapes of all types. Yipes. I lose my mind back here sometimes, I'm sorry. I'd say that's pretty nice. Like I said, we're gonna go over this with a red scuff. This is just a little less grit than the 600, and it kind of brushes those hairs of the plastic over. That might not make sense, but it does, trust me. The main areas that I'm gonna hit are just anywhere that I have hit with the DA, because that has a possibility of reacting when it gets painted and just kind of acting weird. But I'm gonna hit it all over. I'm gonna hit this glove box cover with a little bit of red, not a little bit of red scuff, with a red scuff. Because this seems to be in pretty good shape. I'm not seeing any nibs or scratches or damages or scratch marks on it. Yeah, they look super clean. They're usually super clean, but I still always look at them. Got some parts cleaner here. I'm gonna spray that. I'm gonna blow this off real quick. Get that parts cleaner. Usually I do this on the way to the rack, so I'm not still in the room with all that dust, and I just really wipe it down. Doing this makes the painter's job easier, which means they can focus more on painting and actually paint good. I'm gonna say that is a pretty perfect part. That gets my seal of approval. The glove box covers, I forgot them. It looks real smooth, clean. That's all you can ask for, really. Just perfection.